I can almost guarantee that you've never seen a roll of film like this before. In a previous video I did talking about film photography and my very first experience with it, I mentioned that I am taking a roll of black and white film with me to Memphis, Tennessee. I am now back from that trip and my photos just finished being developed at the lab. And when I opened this roll of photos on the darkroom, I was somewhat shocked. Let me give you some context. While I was shooting, we were walking around downtown Memphis, just exploring, taking pictures. It was a blast. I had a great time. Got to shoot with some old friends I hadn't seen in a while, and it was just phenomenal. It was so interesting to be in such a fast-paced environment like a city's downtown with a film camera, something that forces you to be what some might consider extra slow. It was this just weird polar opposite environment kind of thing where I'm having to approach things in a very slow and methodical way and very thoughtfully, and the city around me is changing by the millisecond. And we were even in one of the slower parts of the city. I mean, it was a very interesting feeling to be almost like you're running at normal speed and the world around you is running at double speed. You know, it's like something in a movie where somebody's standing in a crowd and they're moving around them really fast and he's just kind of like looking around. That's a little bit what it felt like. But while we were walking around shooting, my camera, every time I would advance the film, was just making a noise that didn't quite feel right. But if you know how film works, then you know I couldn't really open the back of the camera to check and see what was wrong. It was like 11 in the day. I mean, the sun was right above us. I couldn't really check. So I had to wait. I had to just finish out the roll of film, and when I get back home, I wound it up and I put it in an envelope and I sent it off, and I hoped for the best. I hoped that the whole roll wasn't blank and I had just wasted a roll of film or what. I was worried that it was going to be terrible. But when I got them back, I was surprised and excited to see that the roll was not ruined. I just ended up making a lot of double exposures. Let me give you a little bit of background information on this roll of film in particular. This was an old Kodak black and white film stock my mother-in-law gave me when she let me borrow an old film camera of hers. It was her first professional real camera way back when, and this roll of film was from that camera. I mean, she got it around the same time as she got that camera. So this roll of film has been around for a long time. So it is most likely expired. I don't know a ton about how expired film works or what even really makes a film expired or what that does to it. But a friend of mine said that due to how low the contrast is in all of these photos, it's most likely an expired stock. I don't claim to know, I'm still new to this. All of these things together, the accidental double exposures and the potentially expired stock, made just some incredible photos. In my opinion, I think they look great. And there is a photo specifically that I absolutely love, and it's this one of this gentleman. He is a valet for this hotel or business on the corner of South Main in Memphis, and he's just sitting outside doing what he does. And I really wanted to get a good photo of him, but like I mentioned before, my camera was making funny noises and it was being weird, and I didn't know if I got the photo. One time he got up right before I took it and moved, and so I couldn't take it. And so I was just having a ton of trouble getting this photo. When I'm now looking at it, I probably took 3 different photos of him, and I am just blown away that 2 of those photos are together. There's one of him looking at me, and then the other one of him just sitting there. He was reading a book or something. And both of those photos are together and he's side by side next to himself in the photo, and you get to see two different versions of him. And I think that's wonderful. It makes it look almost like a reflection in a shop window. The double exposure does, and so you get to see like two versions of this guy who's just kind of working his job. It's the middle of the day, and so that was really cool, especially when I thought that I did not capture that photo. It was really cool to see that in a way I didn't even expect I did. I got very, very lucky. A lot of these double exposures I didn't even know I was making, and some of them turned out great, and I think they're wonderful. But there are some that didn't work out, and that's to be expected because I didn't know that they were happening. And even some of the other photos that didn't end up being double exposures, they were okay. A learning experience, but in terms of progress from my last film photography video, I am very proud. More of the photos from this roll I would consider to be good photos than the last roll, that Fujifilm stock I shot a couple weeks ago. More of this black and white roll look to me to be good photos and photos I'd be proud of. And that's an improvement. That means I'm doing something better. I am getting better at being a film photographer. The imperfection and softness in a lot of these photos, the way my mother-in-law put it, looks like they were pulled from someone's memory. They look like a photo that you might find in a shoebox at your grandparents' house of your great-great-grandparents on honeymoon somewhere or something. That's sort of the look they have, is because of the low contrast, because of how soft they are, the weird double exposure stuff on some of them, they look almost otherworldly. And in my opinion, if some of the cars and the clothes weren't in these photos, they would look shockingly old. And that's just super cool. I don't know if that's particularly valuable, but I think aesthetically, stylistically, it is interesting and cool that we can still, with all of our modern technology, capture something that really looks like a memory. If you couldn't tell, I am excited about film photography. It's fun, I'm loving it, and I'm probably about to spend way too much money on more rolls of film, as every other film photographer I'm sure does. This has been awesome. I'm loving film photography, and I plan to do more of it. So if you're interested in sticking around for those, please consider subscribing. Leaving a like on the video is super helpful for it and my channel as well. I really appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed these videos on film photography. I'll catch you later.